What's going on, guys? This is Mage. I've got a very good cast for a FML Custom game coming up. We are going to start with our light blue Undead player, Magadansky. He probably needs no introduction at this point, but he is one of, if not the best Undeads in the game, and a 3-time FML champion. To his left, we have one of the few players that can probably compare to Maga in terms of overall free-for-all skill. He's playing under the count hyperbolic time in this, but his name usually is Piz, or htrt. He and Maga being spawned together is going to be very interesting. And then we'll get to our pink Undead player, Vova. Vova did very well in the qualifiers for FML this season and just missed out on making it into the playoffs for Season 20. And then with the position luck here is zTsoso. He is one of the best up-and-coming players, a streamer that I suspect most of you are familiar with, and probably the top human player aside from htrt right now. He is an avid play free-for-all ladder player as well, and he should be able to capitalize on this position. Magadansky is going to be in the most interesting position here. He's either going to have to break out onto one of the players, and most likely one would be Piz, or he could decide to do some cross-map expanding. If this was a ladder game, then I think that would be highly unlikely and would almost never happen. However, with more skilled players who know each other, it often is allowed to work out because we can see that there are 12 expansions here, so everybody theoretically at least can get 3 expansions. So Maga might be allowed to take, say, this expansion, and then one of the reds up here. Or he could take this expansion and then this expansion, allowing Piz to take these 2, Vova could take these 2, and Soso could take those 2. But it really will be a question of how aggressively the players want to play and how that's going to work out. We do see Vova here off to an interesting Ghoul Death Knight opening, but he's gone for 2 Necropolises. This will allow him to get a quicker tech, which is a little bit odd on a map like this, where you know you're going to want an early expansion, and the creeps are prime for Undead to take a bunch of them down. The other possibility is that he put the Necropolis there as opposed to putting it at the expansion, although it's certainly a common move to summon your Necropolis at the expansion location. Magadansky does appear to be going for a more common Fiend build, and we see that htrt is going for the Footman Archmage opening that we're used to, and he picked up a Tome of Experience, so nice item drop there. Soso going for the same thing, but doing some militia creeping on the green camp as well, which is something that we actually talked about with the creeping patterns that we did with Soso. So he's probably going to send this back, get a separate batch to creep down the expansion, but I suspect that we'll see Piz come out with his militia for creeping his expansion, but we can see here he only has 5 peasants, so he may be going for a later expansion than we are going to see from Soso. And it'll be interesting to see where Magadansky decides to take his first expansion. By all rights, the corner expansion should be his, but you just never really know. We can also see here that Piz has gone ahead and picked up the Assassin, a very valuable mercenary camp creep, just because it can do poison damage and it's ranged, so it really does great DPS. Soso has hit level 2 on his Archmage. He picked up Gloves of Haste as opposed to the Tome of Experience, and Magadansky and Vova are just beginning to start their creeping patterns as well, but Vova is almost halfway to tier 2 already, whereas nobody else has yet started their creep. He is also going to get up a rather early expansion for Undead, it looks like, so maybe Vova's pattern will pay off here. There we go, we can see that Piz is going ahead and militia creeping the expansion. He has gone 1 up. This is solely so he does not antagonize Magadansky. Both of these are the 2 heavily favored players in the game, and neither one wants to have to fight the other off early on if it can be helped, just because fighting like that is going to waste a lot of time, experience, gold, and wood. And there are such good items on this map that you really want to make sure you can creep it as best as possible. So Vova has gone for the Ghoul opening here, and it's actually being pretty effective so far. Somewhat surprising, but it is what it is. And here we go, Magadansky will be the last one to get his expansion up, but he is going ahead and starting that now. Soso has about 600, and it will be Piz that finishes it off first, although Vova not going to be far behind them. And we can see that so far zTsoso has got the advantage here because of the fact that he is able to creep pretty much whichever way he wants. If we look here, though, he has not yet started his tech to tier 2, and neither has Piz. Magadansky about halfway done, and Vova should be done. Yes, he is, in fact, done. So we'll see how he can take advantage of getting to tier 2 the quickest. It's certainly not going to be in hero levels at the moment, as he is a full hero level behind both of our human players and a little bit behind Magadansky as well. We did see that Piz was talking about breaking onto Pink, that he was referencing the fact that he really wanted Magadansky not to try and break out onto him. And if I was in Maga shoes, I would probably avoid that as well, since you never really want to try and take him out early game. Nice item drop there for zTsoso as well. So all players do have one expansion up, and it'll be a question of who's going to be the second person to get their expansion up. And there we go. So, a bunch of sentry wards coming out so far. We'll take a quick look at the player's bases here. Piz still tier 1. He is at about 500, 250. His expansion is up and running. Magadansky at about 400, 450. He is almost done with tier 2. Vova has just started his tech to tier 3. He is at 300, 100. And then zTsoso is at 450. He is about a fifth of the way on his tech up to tier 2, and we can see the reason that Piz's tech is so delayed is he is going ahead and throwing up his second expansion momentarily. Just needs a little bit more wood before it's good to go, but that will provide him with a huge economic advantage once it is up and running. He has started his tech to tier 2 as well. zTsoso going to be the first one to take down a green camp. It looks like Magadansky has put up his second expansion as well, and should hit level 3 on this Death Knight pretty soon. And I actually missed that. zTsoso has his up as well, or is in the process of putting a second expansion up as well. 6 peasants there, a little bit interesting. I wonder if he's going to try and go for some wood mining at that expansion as well. So that leaves Vova as the only one who will not put up his second expansion, and he'll be forced to go up a little bit and towards zTsoso. Magadansky has managed to secure 2 expansions close to his base, for allowing him to not have to go cross map to expand. zTsoso actually having some trouble with this creep camp so far. It will give him level 4 once he takes it down, but we can see that unit's getting a little low to start with, and he's having some trouble taking this Bandit Lord down. A very slow creep for a human player, to be honest. Somewhat surprised that it's taking him this long. If he's not careful, he is going to lose a few of the footmen. Not the end of the world, but he's got to hope that he's got some tier 2 units up and coming pretty soon. Blacksmiths are going up for the tech, and keep is almost done for him. Magadansky just healing up a little bit here. Don't think he's going to be able to take this down that quickly, and okay, Piz is walking around there going for the orange creep camps. Thought he might be trying to take that red camp down, which would have been very, very impressive, but it does look like he is not that suicidal. And Vova coming in here, he cannot be trying to nuke down this hero. Oh, he is. Let's see how this works out for him. This could be just asking for trouble. That Dark Wizard is purging the hell out of the Death Knight, and yeah, Death Knight being forced to retreat here. He's got to be careful he does not lose the Death Knight in the process. A bold move trying to take it down, and it looks like he is still going for it, but I will be very, very impressed if he manages to take this down. I think he's more just asking for trouble and likely to get something killed off here. And he's going to lose the Death Knight right here. Force a TP. Lich goes down. So bad move by Vova, trying to get sneaky there. That's going to cost him big time. Not able to gain levels on that Lich. And let's see, he is not yet producing anything, although he is at tier 3, and that's going to delay the time for the Dreadlord to get out as well. Overall, just not ideal circumstances. Down here, you can see dual slaughterhouses going up for Maga. Black Citadel is almost complete. Castle is on the way up for Piz, and zTsoso has just started his castle as well. So it does look like we are going to see Magadansky take down this middle camp, and will it be a Mask of Death and a Potion of Greater Healing? So no Tome of Power there. A little bit disappointing, I am sure. And Maga has to be careful not to lose any of these fiends carelessly, since he will want them to take on some of the further creeps. And zTsoso is taking out this creep camp right in front of Piz. Is Piz going to get involved with this? Because zTsoso does not have very many strong units right now. Mostly relying on the water elementals to help him take out the Dark Wizard. His second hero, the Mountain King, is on its way up now, but I don't think he's going to be able to take this out. I think it's going to go to Piz in the long run. Piz has picked up a Pandarian Brewmaster as his second hero in the meantime. 2 Renegade Wizards and a Dark Wizard are the order of the day right now for zTsoso to try and take down. It does look like he is going for it, and there will not be a creep jack right now because Piz is going for that other red camp. But let's see if zTsoso can manage to get this down without losing any heroes. So an early Golem creep here from htrt. Really somewhat surprising that he is going to be able to take this out as quickly as he is, or that he's trying to, but it may be because he has his Griffin Aviaries up now, so he doesn't really need these footmen anymore, and he can then switch over to getting Griffins, which will help him take out a few of the other red camps. So Granite Golem is in the process of going down. We'll see how zTsoso is doing over here. Looks like he has managed to get down, and a Blink Dagger on the Mountain King. A great item. Archmage does hit level 5, and Magadansky just comes over and scouts, takes down one of the footmen, and let's see if he's going to try and go for the footman, or the Mountain King, or if he's just going to back off here. Looks like he will back off. And a Helm of Valor for that Pandarian Brewmaster, hitting level 3 already. It's in good shape, and let's see if Piz and Mag are going to fight it out. Nope, that's just going to be let gone. So if you're keeping count of the red camps at home, that is 1 going to Piz right now, and 2 going to zTsoso. Piz does have his 3rd expansion going up as we speak, and he is also going up to 80. It'll be interesting to see if he's going to try and take one of the players out, or if he's just going to drop himself back down to 50. Nope, he's up to 71, so he is certainly going for a complete push right now. It'll be interesting to see who he gets going for here, and he is also going for the 2nd Golem creep camp. That'll give him level 3 on the Archmage. Let's see what the Bandit Lord here drops from Maga. Scroll of Resurrection, what a shitty item drop. And let's see, so that's Rock Golem going down will be level 5 on the Archmage. There we go, and he should be able to take that Golem down without too much trouble. We do have a Paladin coming out 3rd for him, so pretty typical combination of Archmage, Panda, and Paladin. Always off chance that a Mountain King will get thrown in there, but very unlikely. And zTsoso continuing to do heavy creeping with this Archmage. His early hero levels are coming back to bite him in the ass because he is absorbing a lot of experience right now with the Archmage and does not have the overall balanced hero levels that are going to be provided by somebody else. And Maga will be the one. Nope, he's going to let him go there. Thought Maga might be trying to break onto Piz, but that is not going to be the case. However, he does look like he is going up to 80 as well, and does not have the food or wood to back up the way that htrt does. So there we go. Vova does get level 3 on his Lich, but he's still level 3 on the Death Knight as well. Trying to put up his 3rd expansion as well. We'll go around and check our overall hero levels in just a moment. But it does look like the Granite Golem will be taken down here momentarily, and the item drop will be a Helm of Valor, so another nice item drop there. zTsoso moving on to grab his 3rd red camp here, and Archmage will back up. He's got Coma retraining because he's going to go to Brilliance Aura and Blizzard whenever he can. So there we go. We do have Magadansky is at 4-1-2 at the moment. We've got 5-3-1 from Piz. 5-2-1 for zTsoso, and 3-3-2, I believe, yep, for Vova at the moment. So best hero levels right now are going to htrt, and he's got the most expansions up and running, although Vova has a 3rd one coming up momentarily. zTsoso about to grab his 3rd red camp. Magadansky is on his way to grab his 2nd, and the Inferno Stone here pops out for zTsoso. Beautiful, beautiful item. Best you can get on this map, in my opinion. Although the Blink Dagger is right up there as well, and possibly better in the late game. But if zTsoso decides to take out Vova, since it looks like Maga and htrt are destined to fight at this point, then that Inferno Stone can help put him out there permanently. And the plus 15 clause on the Lich, certainly not a bad item to pick up here. Piz grabbing his 3rd red as well. Amulet of Wind, not the item you'd want exactly. Paladin does grab level 2 there. Panda hits level 4, so he is in very good shape hero-wise right now. And then let's see if he's going to do any shopping. Does not look like he is at the moment. Somewhat surprised he's keeping that Cloak of Flames, maybe waiting to get down to 50 to sell it. But we can see here that Maga going up to 85, and it will be interesting to see who Maga chooses to hit here. The natural way to go is into htRT's base, just because you want to be able to take him out early on. That allows a lot of the other map to be opened up for Magadansky, and it's a longer walk towards Vova. However, Vova is not nearly the Micromaster that HTRT is, but it does look like Magadansky is going to be going for HTRT, and this could very well be the fight of the game. These are certainly two of the top players in free-for-all history, and perhaps the best two in the game right now, and HTRT has been caught off guard right now. He's got 4,000 gold, 500 wood, but he does have slight hero upgrade or unit upgrade advantages right now, but massive amount of differential on the heroes. We can see the Fiends just going down to Blizzard very, very quickly. Maga is at 92 right now, losing Fiends rapidly. The Ursa Warrior does come out right now. We have not yet seen a hero go down, although we do see that both the Dreadlord and the Death Knight are getting low. Level 5 on the Death Knight. Dreadlord gets healed up. Maga down to 73. Peasants were forced to be used to call to arms right now. The Lich went down, and it looks like if we're not careful, we may see some other careless unit drops here by HTRT. He does lose some militia, and ghouls were sent. Actually, I completely missed that. Sorry, but the ghouls were sent to do some harassing in the meantime. So a nice move by Magadansky there, but it could cost him wood-wise since he is very, very low right now. And you know he wants to go back up to 100, but he has neither the food nor the wood or the gold to do so. Got to focus on trying to take out these workshops before the tanks come out. Barely saved that one from being built, but well timed there. And zTsoso being forced to go up to 80. Vova already at 80. zTsoso in the meantime trying to take down his third creep camp, though he has got very good hero levels at this point. However, does have to sacrifice one of his expansions to Vova as Vova continues to attack it. So Arcane Vault is down, and here comes a TP. This is a bad spot for Magadansky to be in. He really can't afford to take this fight. Maybe he can actually. Thought that he had already gotten a few tanks out, but it does not look like he has. Workshop going up in the back of the base. We do not yet have Freezing Breath from the Frostworms, so the tanks will continue to be produced here, and has to be careful of this Pandarian Brewmaster just doing so much damage to Magadansky's army right now, in conjunction with Blizzard when it goes off, and that AoE is just overwhelmingly powerful, and we're going to see Fiend go down, we're going to see a statue go down, as well as all of the gargoyles. So HTRT up to 82 food at the moment, probably going to drop himself down to 80, although maybe he's just going up to 100 and try to take Magadansky out right now. Maga is down to 270 wood. He does have 67 food right now, but position is not very good for him. He is at 2-1 upgrades. On the other side of the map, Vova is doing some serious damage to zTsoso. zTsoso is at 64, but not very much wood right now. And here we go. So Maga just being forced to retreat, honestly. HTRT continuing to survive off 3 expansions, so despite being at 100 food, he is in very good shape, and that worm is going to go down as well. He's got to try and nuke that hawk. Nope, he's just going to back off, and wow, you don't often see somebody able to hold back Magadansky as well as Piz has done right now, but this could be the end of Magadansky. When these tanks come out, I would not be surprised to see Magadansky's expansions get flattened, followed by the remainder of his base. He desperately needs some more ghouls right now, but cannot afford to stop pumping the gargoyles in order to take some relief there. And Guard Tower is going up right now, trying to do some damage to Magadansky's third expansion. Was just gotten up and running, and one siege engine is down, so able to do something. Let's see if Maga can counter the massive amount of air right now, or if more likely he's just going to go for the base, try and take out this workshop. Smart move on his part. One of the tanks will get out before it goes down, most likely, though. And yes, it does look like it is going to go down, but the tank is out in the back of his base. 2 other workshops up and running, as well as 2 Griffin aviaries. And despite having such massive amounts of expansions right now, both HTRT and Magadansky low on gold, and in Maga's case, critically low on wood at the moment. You can only imagine what would be happening if they did not have everything that they did right now. Vova, meanwhile, has been able to do a fair bit of damage to zTsoso. He is fine gold-wise, but desperately needs more wood in order to pump his tanks out. And Vova does look like he will be engaging right now, although one of the priests goes down. We'll see how he can take this. 2-2 upgrades versus 2-1. That's not going to go well for the gargoyles. And Piz is actually just going for attacking a bunch of the expansions first. I guess he's confident that he is not going to lose his entire production right now, and if he can take down Magadansky's expansions, cripple him, then that may be the way to beat him later on. Starve him out of food and gold, and there we go. We do see the Knight get staffed there. This is pretty much a pure tank army right now. This is going to go in zTsoso's favor, presuming that he can get Vova to actually take the fight. We do see that the expansion has pretty much been completely collapsed. Level 4 Dreadlord is out, 5 on the Death Knight, 3 on the Lich, and now he's going for the castle. That could force Piz to TP back. We'll see if zTsoso is going to be able to do some damage to the gargoyles. They do go into stone form. And now it's just a question of nuking. zTsoso has called out his Doom Guard. We do see the Archmage getting low there. And here we go. TP coming in here by htrt. He is at 400 and 200. This is going to be a huge fight. And look at the gargoyles just melt away there. Magadansky down to 58. And this is the chance for htrt to push into the base, take out Magadansky completely. One of the knights was sent to do some damage over here. Took out all the remaining alkalites, but will back up. And here we go. Towers coming up to try and take out that expansion. And this could be the final push for Maga's career in the game. Sorry, that sounded way over dramatic there. But we do see one of the crypts will go down here. Panda coming in, doing a fair bit of damage to these two ziggurats. And still 3-1 upgrades on the gargoyles, making them very, very hard to stay alive. Magadansky wisely going to TP out, going back up here, trying to fight off the towers. And he's really got to rely on playing a hit-and-run type game right now. And it'll be interesting to see if Piz is going to try and completely take out Magadansky, or if it's going to be a question of trying to string him along and tome him. Maga is such a dangerous opponent and so tenacious at staying around. You never really want to leave him in longer than possible because he will harass the hell out of your expansions, as he's doing right now. But Piz does face the consequences of getting 2v1 most likely after he takes out Magadansky. Let's see if he TP's back up here. He does have level 6 on the Archmage, so he's got Mass TP ready to go. Going to take out the Alkalites first, but I suspect that Mass TP is incoming. Just got to bring the army around here. No, it looks like he's going to let the Town Hall live. Or, sorry, let the Town Hall go down. Vova has struggled to keep up with zTsoso at the moment. There we go. Maga is letting everybody know that he is dead, but I doubt that anything is going to come about from this. Sleep goes off on the Mountain King, does have the Blink Dagger. We'll see if he can get up here and get a big stun off. There is no TP on the Death Knight. Mass TP did come in here for htrt, and does Maga have a TP? I do not believe he does, and if this goes down, that's going to be pretty much game over for him. We can see he is trying to escape right now, but the Frostworm going to go down. The Rider's doing a lot of damage, and here we go. zTsoso coming in here, trying to take out the expansion that Vova has, and kind of a shame because I think a htrt versus zTsoso 1v1 right now would be very interesting, and zTsoso is in great position to completely take out Vova. Vova is food capped at the moment, and in a very, very vulnerable position to being completely eliminated. So here we go. Magadansky is on the verge of being completely knocked out of this game. Pretty much no wood and no gold. Incoming Mass TP, and if he can trap one of these heroes, then that will be pretty much game over. The problem is he does not have a stun right now, and Magadansky's heroes are quick enough that it's hard for them to get away. But at the moment, he does have one mine up and running. However, htrt knows exactly where it is and will Mass TP over to it, I presume, once everything is taken out, and at the moment just trying to keep Magadansky away from his mines. He does have 3 expansions up and running still, but Maga will obviously do his best to distract htrt as much as possible, prevent him from being able to completely finish off Maga. And here we go. So Piz has gotten a tank into position there, Mass TP incoming, and these are the remaining buildings. If they get taken out, that will be game over, although it does look like Maga is going to be able to rebuild on the opposite side of the map. Maga desperately manipulating to try and save his existence within the game, and does not look like he is going to be successful at the moment. The closer he goes over to his former base, the easier it will be found most likely. So Piz right now has to make the decision if he is going to try and save his castle or not. He is Mass TPing in here, finished off the expansion, and with slow should be able to take down at least one of these heroes, I would think. Seems like it's a bit of a suicide mission at the moment. Does staff and save, but surprised that he has There we go. We'll take down the Dreadlord now, so that's 2 heroes remaining, and we are getting very close to level 6 on that Pandarian Brewmaster. And here we go, so Vova coming in here and hitting htrt. Bad time for htrt. He is up to 3,000 gold and 600 wood here, but questionable decision by Vova to try and take out Piz right now. If I was in his position, I would take out the rest of Magadansky's base first, and then you could 2v1 Piz, but Magadansky is just too surviving and too much like a cockroach in some senses. He will always come back to hurt you later on. But here we go. It does look like the remaining expansion will be found, although Magadansky has enough to throw up another Necropolis, if nothing else. Has to be careful that it's not taken out beforehand, and it looks like it may just be too late for him. Yeah, he's not going to be able to get a building up in time, I think. So that's going to be game over for Magadansky, and now it will be zTsoso and... did I speak too soon? There it is. So Magadansky is defeated. It will now be zTsoso and Vova against Piz, it looks like. A nice effort by Magadansky to rush out Piz, but Piz did counter it very, very well. Had the best creeping on the map by far, and great heroes to counter it as well. However, he now has to deal with the fact that he has no surviving expansions, and merely has 3,000 gold and 600 wood right now, as opposed to zTsoso at 5,500 and Vova at 3,500. And at some point they're going to need to realize that they cannot afford to team them out, and that zTsoso with his map positioning is actually at a very good spot right now. This is going to be up to Vova not to over-team. This is going to be really tough for htrt to overcome long-term if zTsoso is allowed to have 3 expansions up and running like he will momentarily while going 2v1 against htrt. And it does look like Piz will take the approach to try and stay in his base for now, protect that since it is very low from where Magadansky was harassing him, and probably a smart move on his part. And a little bit of free experience here for zTsoso. Has to be careful he doesn't take any of the Archmage, so he is backing that off. And let's see. I'm surprised that he's not going to try and get it all focused on the Paladin. If he moved the Mountain King, if he moved the Paladin, he might be able to get level 5 on the Mountain King. But that's not going to be a possibility now. And Piz actually calling out for good advice on finishing him to zTsoso. And what he's saying is actually very, very true at the moment. Goes to show his understanding. Let's see if the counter manip works, though, and how this is going to play out. You got to give him points. htrt is really quite the impressive free-for-all player overall, and a great sport, since I know a lot of people, if that had just gotten 2v1'd after fighting a long, prolonged 1v1, would be very, very bitter and mad about it, but great sport to him, and hopefully this will not turn into a brutal teaming of htrt the entire time. So we'll go around and do a quick gold check on it. We've got 2,040 for htrt. zTsoso is at 5,700 and 130. Vova is at 6,000 and 1,000 right now. But we do have an expansion coming up for htrt. So hopefully that will allow him to get a little more gold into the game right now. And unfortunately, not a whole lot that I can just ramble about right now. We do see Mountain King hits level 5. Tries to lose both of those priests to the lightning shield, but no go. And Vova now mining off 4 mines, there's about 1,000 left in his main. zTsoso has pulled his peons off of it, so he will have 4 expansions up and running, but no main. And we do see that the second expansion is going up for htrt at the moment. There'll be a question right now to see, Are the players going to allow Piz to hoard off some expansions and catch up to them in gold, or is somebody going to try and take him out first? It looks like zTsoso may be trying to go for the battle against htrt. Interesting army combinations. I mean, there are a lot of tanks here which aren't going to do very much. There's absolutely no air in zTsoso's army right now. So Piz's tanks will not be very helpful, but he does have the hero advantage level, and he does have the Pandarian Brewmaster, and Vova going and killing off that lumber mill. Not really sure why he's doing that or what he's doing that for. This is actually going to hurt Piz pretty badly, because that's going to give him another food block right now, and he desperately needs all the wood he can get. Doesn't want to waste it on building farms at the moment, and if zTsoso does hit him as we speak, that could put him into a very bad position, although Piz does have 2 expansions that will be up momentarily, giving him an extra 20 food. But at the moment, it is just zTsoso that is gaining in strength. He's low on wood. However, getting all these expansions up and running is really going to help him quite a bit, obviously. Vova is actually above zTsoso in gold. However, he is about to have one of his expansions drain out, and he will be left without a main gold mine. Piz still has quite a bit left on his, thanks to the fact that he had pulled off some peasants earlier in the game, allowing him to save it for later on. And actually, Vova almost tripped 5. Somehow his creeping pattern, while it was not good and didn't really work out for him, has allowed him to gain some extra creeps at the end that will be used by all of it. And it looks like we've got a few creep camps left. We'll see if zTsoso decides to hit them and gain level 5 on the Paladin. He has backed off from hitting Piz at the moment. If Vova hits Piz, it will be interesting to see if zTsoso backs off and lets them fight, or goes for the 2v1, since htrt would almost certainly completely dominate Vova at this moment in time, although he is well behind in his resource count. The tank's still at 0-1 upgrades, which with Blizzard could play a large role in the game, as opposed to zTsoso's, who are 3-3 at the moment. Let's see how many production buildings we've got. We've got, looks like 4 workshops, and here we go. Vova actually going ahead and hitting htrt. This just seems pointless. I'm not sure at all why he is doing this. Piz going ahead, gaining level 5 on the Paladin, presumably trying to get a extra item. There we go. Gonna go ahead and pull everything back right here. Not sure why he is not mass TPing in to save that. Well, Piz lets one of the expansions go down. Could have taken Vova there relatively easily, I think, but decides not to. And I'm not sure if he's simply trying to not get 2v1'd or what his overall goal here is right now. zTsoso about to grab level 5 on that Paladin when he finishes the camp, most likely. And Vova looks like he wants to try and pressure htrt, but has not yet decided to go for it. There we go. Does go ahead and hit the tanks. Magadansky starts lagging at pretty much the worst possible time right now. There we go. Paladin is level 5, so we've got 555 heroes right now for zTsoso. And still not yet level 5 on this Paladin, but not too far away. There is 1 creep camp left for each of the for any of the players that want to get it. However, that may not happen. It is near Vova's base, and he could certainly use it since that Death Knight is almost level 5. But it does look like we are going to have a bit of a sitting around right now. Not a huge surprise on Market Square, since there's just so much gold here. And unfortunately, an exciting early game has turned boring relatively quickly. And Vova actually does discover the last creep camp, so will gain level 5 on the Death Knight. If he draws the Dreadlord back afterwards, he could get level 5 on the Lich as well. Has to be careful here he doesn't actually miss out on getting level 5 on the Death Knight, though. Yeah, if he's not careful, he's going to actually... He did. That idiot managed not to get level 5 on the Death Knight. And here we go. zTsoso is now attacking htrt. Are we going to get a mass TP to try and deal with this, or is htrt just going to try and defend his base? Looks like he's just going for camping. Well, this is ordinarily the time where I would just go and have some active commentary with my co-caster, but that does not look like it's meant to be. Give me 1 second. Sorry about that, I had a message coming in. Alright, well, please team zTsoso for a little while, because he has 12,000 gold, and has the best spawn on the map. And, oh, here we go. So they actually are going to go ahead and try and team zTsoso out a little bit, or Vova is going to go ahead and attack zTsoso at least. We'll see if this creates a little more activity from htrt. He does have an expansion up at the moment. And TP out here from Vova, but this could be the start of them playing this properly, since zTsoso clearly is the biggest target at the moment. And this expansion is going to be scouted instantaneously by zTsoso. Let's see if he is going to aggro onto... He is going for Vova here. So, both players with just massive amounts of gold. I think this is probably a pretty terrible TP here from Vova right now. He is very low, but... Ooh, he is going for the nuke on the Archmage, which does not have a TP. Getting a passive TP from the Paladin over to the Archmage, but the Archmage does not look like it's in great position right now, although the tanks are doing a lot of damage, but the Archmage does go down right here, so Vova taking a little bit of a victory out of that. However, he is having all of his air go down to the tanks right now. Has to be careful not to lose these things, and will the Mountain King go down as well? Paladin is the one with a TP on at the moment. zTsoso does pop out his Infernal Scroll, kind of a useless pop of it there. Paladin is going to try and pass the TP off here, but if sleep goes off on the Paladin, nope. So Mountain King will get out here, but the Necropolis stays alive, and let's see if htrt is going to inject a little more life into this as well. If they start going 2v1 against zTsoso right now, that will be very interesting. A lot of the siege engines did not make it out with that TP, though, so let's see what the levels will look like. Dreadlord could almost get up to level 5 here. Going to be close to see where they get to, and the tank's just kind of running around headlessly right now. zTsoso perhaps not even realizing that the tanks are there. He is in the process of reviving the Archmage. There we go. The tanks now are trying to go ahead and get out. And Piz has taken the time to try and toss up 4 expansions at the moment. So if he can get all 4 of those up and running and get some gold, then that will be very, very good for him. And zTsoso actually trying to bring these tanks over to the next expansion. Archmage is not yet out, so no mass TP onto them, but could do a decent bit of damage in the meantime, and we can see the rest of the army is on their way as well. Meatwagon goes down to zTsoso. And another siege engine going down right now for zTsoso. So he's got to decide when and where to cut his losses, probably. And Vova's got to be feeling pretty confident about this right now. He is at 76. Does not look like he wants to go up to 100 just yet, but coming off a good fight for himself. Both the Mountain King and the Paladin do have TPs now, so not making that same mistake again. But another hero kill or a couple more caster kills, and we could see the Dreadlord hit level 5. Always a good thing for Undead when you get that Dreadlord to 5, because it means that the Mountain King, the Dreadlord and Inferno is coming up next. The Archmage is back out here. It does not have a TP. Let's see if Vova is going to try and focus that down again. Needs to get that Frostworm out from the direct fire, and we can see the power of the Mountain King and Paladin taking out these fiends very, very quickly. Dragonhawk Riders come in here, should go ahead and ensnare one of the Frostworms. That goes down to the Lich, gets a little bit of mana back there, and Archmage now is the one with the Dagger of Escape. Interesting that he moved it over to that. Must be purely for trying to keep it alive during nuking purposes, and the Fiends unfortunately are just melting away to this Mountain King and Paladin. Vova crying out for help right now, trying to get htrt to do some attacking against zTsoso, and could be a good idea for him, although he's got a good thing going with his hoarding right now. But zTsoso could also turn it around on htrt by agreeing to peace with Vova if they 2v1 Piz. Casters do go down there for Vova, and he is now at 46 actually. He only has 1 mine up and running though, so not worth it to stay at 50, and should be pumping back up to 100, I would hope. I really, really hope that he's not going to decide to cry that he's dead. And on the other side of the map, we do see that he's just bringing his peasants over there to try and build an expansion. We'll see if we get a mass TP on there. Yep, so htrt is going to contest that expansion. And that means it's going to be a 2v1 against zTsoso right now. We'll see how he deals with it. He does have Archmage almost to level 6. Also means that he could not have mass TP'd earlier just because it was not level 6. So my bad on that one. And if we look at his base, it's pretty well put up right now. No huge weak points. Could get some air damage in from the sides and the left, but a well-constructed base overall. Piz has pretty much no towers in his base. Has to be worried about either air or tanks coming in, and now zTsoso realizing that it's not good that htrt has so many expansions. We'll see if he can convince Vova to peace or how this is going to play out. So Dreadlord has hit 5. We've got 16,000 and 3,000. htrt is 4,000 and 1,500. zTsoso at 15,000 and 2,000. So while htrt may be catching up in his gold disparity, he is certainly not completely back right now. And all these tanks are really doing quite a number on the Griffin Riders right now. Unfortunately, the tanks that htrt possesses really not doing any damage. This is a good army by zTsoso to pretty much purely counter htrt right now, although we should see a couple of these, both get staffed out just in the nick of time, and in come a few Dragonhawk Riders as well to take out the Griffin Riders. zTsoso is at 75 now, Piz is at 72, Mass TP coming in, and nice job actually just to get those Griffin Riders out, reposition himself there, so smart move on Piz's point. Not something we often see is Mass TP within a fight just to do something like that. Very, very well played by htrt on that part, and a few mortar teams have come into play for zTsoso as well. Panda is chasing it down, but backs off with it expiring. Free tank needs to be staffed right now, and overall fight, kind of a push right there. Lots of staffed units on both sides, but probably not how this fight should go for either of the players. They both need the gold, and, well, at least htrt does, and zTsoso needs to kill more units than he has been able to. And here we go, Mass TP coming in here for zTsoso, and let's see if Mass TP onto one of the other tanks right now, since he is going to lose them both otherwise. And Piz calling out for a piece right now. Needs to make sure that he can get over and staff out one of the siege engines. zTsoso goes ahead and agrees to a piece, so it looks like, and after all that time, looks like we're going to have some more fun with hoarding. Paladin is almost... Ooh, nope, so zTsoso does not want peace. He is going to come in here and try to take out the remainder, and no silence, no stun. Really no way to prevent that Archmage from TPing out except for using... No, actually, really no way to prevent that. But zTsoso wisely used a regular TP to go ahead and get back out there. And it now looks like Vova could be the one flying under the radar, sitting at 50, hoarding off of 2 mines in a moment. And here we go, zTsoso going right back for htrt right now, probably just trying to wear him away with the lack of gold that he has. Panda does have its ultimate recharging, I believe, and staffs out one of the tanks. One goes down. Let's see if this other one goes down. Oh, staffs out 2 of the tanks, so zTsoso does have a TP on his Archmage at the moment. All of these Griffin Riders actually getting very, very low, and Mountain King is level 6 now. Avatar pops off. That will do a lot in preventing damage from being done to him by htrt, and in come a few siege engines for Piz, but he needs to send those to expansion. They're not really helping him as is. Breakers are magic immune. The Avatar is magic immune. Mass TP just over to the other side. Try to get out some trickiness here. There we go. So Panda has used its ultimate, going ahead and cycloning the Archmage, and staff goes off on one of the Griffin Riders. The rest are getting low, though. We saw a nice scroll of healing pop off earlier, and heal goes off on the Breakers right now. And the Paladin getting very low, and Paladin does go down for htrt. Paladin is low for zTsoso as well, but has Divine Shield going off, and let's see if they can pull off some type of surround right now. However, this fight is certainly going in zTsoso's favor. He's got the better army for it. Does manage to take out one of the heroes at least. However, he is still gaining gold at a rapid rate. He's up to 8,000. And we do see tanks are taking down an expansion. Unfortunately, they are going to be forced to back up as well. Orbifrost doing a huge amount of damage to htrt. Being able to trap down one of these tanks is incredibly imperative. Obviously, you cannot use any of the normal methods to stun it, but just slowing it will work out in the end. However, the staff goes off to save it in time. Panda going ahead, taking out this Spellbreaker before Mass TP can come in here, and htrt actually mining with 6 peasants, somewhat interesting. And coming back in here, doing more damage to this expansion. Looks like the group is not well organized enough to Mass TP at the moment. We do see that the Griffin Riders are clustered up here. They have not yet been healed, but they are going to do some damage to the expansion. And in come the tanks. Let's see if this is just going to be a 1-for-1 trade, or if Piz is willing to try and TP in there. zTsoso certainly willing to TP, though. Comes right back here, and still not a great army composition for htrt to fight zTsoso with. I'm surprised that we've not seen any Breakers being mixed in here for Piz. Paladin is almost back out for him. TP goes out there for Piz, as well as the tanks walking away. And Vova now up to 17,500 gold, 3,500 wood. Not terrible heroes, but not great either, and we can see he is just kind of chilling out of his base. The reason for this is they don't want to scout and see that Vova is at 50. If that army was in his base, it'd be easy to find with the players having their towers. So, smooth move on his part to avoid that. zTsoso now attacking another expansion, although it is an expansion that has already been drained. And another expansion, and Piz coming in here to fight again. We'll see if they try and take it. Avatar should be ready on the Mountain King whenever he wants to use it. He does have 167 mana right now. Just really nice micro on these Griffin Riders to keep them out of danger, but again, they are not really doing very much damage as we speak. And the Archmage getting low here. Surround almost goes off. Nice heal by Piz to keep that alive. And Panda has gone ahead and used its ultimate. Good Blizzard there on the Griffin Riders. Griffin Riders now will not be a factor within this fight, it does not look like. Staff out there on the Breaker. And zTsoso has gotten some Dragonhawk Riders involved as well. We will see if he goes and chases them or if he keeps it as is. And the Paladin getting low. It's got to have Divine Shield though, I think. And the Town Hall actually may go down. Nope, going to be a TP out here by zTsoso. And Cyclone goes off at the perfect time to cancel. That is the one thing that Piz can do to do so. Archmage getting very, very low. Healed up at the last moment. And the Archmages go just saved the last moment by zTsoso. So nice micro by both of our players here. There we go. zTsoso finally going to go ahead and just focus down on this hall. Breath of Fire comes out. Panda has changed it just the right minute to do some damage there. And the Dragonhawk Riders look like they're going to go down. Town Hall does go down, but the Panda should be able to take out at least one. Yep, probably two of these. And zTsoso being forced to call it a retreat right now. So Piz lost the expansion, but overall the fight probably tilting in his favor on that one. Paladin is about halfway to 6, and catches some of these Griffin Riders out when they were exchanging. Let's see what Vova is going to do here. He has now been scouted, and he is going ahead and possessing a peasant. Let's see. Well, zTsoso knows that Vova is 50. We'll see if zTsoso caught that one of the peasants was taken and what Vova plans to do with it. You gotta love some of our dual building undeads right now, and I hope that's what we're gonna see. In the meantime, though, Piz has managed to get himself up to 9,000 gold. 2 expansions are in the process of going up for him. zTsoso is at 21,000 already, and at 55, Vova is at 20,000 and 82 food, so he is going up for a full army. We'll see who he decides to fight. You gotta think he's gonna try and take the fight to zTsoso, though. And here we go, another big fight coming in here. The Griffin Rider actually just managed to be healed in the nick of time, and the Knight's coming out to battle now. Helpful should he see, helpful should he find the tanks, and I can't really determine if zTsoso is calling out that he has 52 food and is dead, trying to convince them that, because I don't think they're that stupid. I could be wrong, but I highly doubt they're going to believe that zTsoso, who's been allowed to mine off of 4 mines for most of the game, is completely dead. But we can see Vova has gone ahead and taken out one of the expansions, and now Vova and zTsoso will be allowed to have a 1v1, while Piz is going to go ahead and mine off of 2 mines at 80. Should allow him to get back up in the gold. Probably never going to catch up to Vova and zTsoso, but it will at least allow him to get back into the same ballpark, and that Lich almost goes down there, and it should go. Ooh, nice sleep on the Paladin, prevents that nuke from going off. Vova just manages to get that away there, so very well played on Vova's part to keep that Lich alive. He is at 79 right now. And 81, not sure if that is an 81, nope. So kills off one of the Alkalites. He is looking to stay at 80 as well. So zTsoso no longer mining. Oh, he is mining off 1 mine, and he is staying at 50. This is incredibly dangerous and greedy by zTsoso. I really can't believe that he is going to do this, especially with somebody like Piz, who has mass TP, and whether or not he could just jump right into the base and try to take out zTsoso. And this nice little lag break is brought to you by Magadansky, our first player out of the game and possibly the big winner in it, since he doesn't have to sit around for it. And here we go. It does look like zTsoso is going to try and fight Vova at 70 versus 50 right now, and Crypt Fiends just die so quickly to the Paladin and Mountain King, but the Griffin Riders do both go down, so zTsoso forced to TP out right now. zTsoso down to 35, and looking to put up another expansion as we speak. And he really is going to try and hoard at 50 for a while. Very, very bold choice. And hey, no, X, this is Mage. So let's go around and take a quick look at people's bases right now. We can see that we've got 3 Griffin Aviaries and 3 Workshops, 2 Arcane Sanctums for Piz right now. We do notice a lack of farms, so if his expansions go down, he most likely will be food blocked. But he does have 3 expansions up and running, sort of. The 3rd expansion is being built and should go up soon. So zTsoso is at 50, has 2 expansions up and running, as well as a couple of former expansions. However, his base is just a lot more dangerous. He has, let's see, it looks like 4 Griffin Aviaries, 4 Workshops, 2 Blacksmiths, and so just 2 Arcane Sanctums. Yep, 2 Arcane Sanctums and an Arcane Vault. And then our last player, Vova, has surprisingly only 3 Crypts right now. That really does shock me, but he is getting his Keep upgrade right now. He has 2 Boneyards, and he really could use a few more production buildings, considering the fact that he has 21,000 gold. I mean, that in itself should be a pretty good indication that you could afford a few more production buildings. And it does look like it will be zTsoso and Piz fighting it out again, leaving Vova to be by himself. I think both human players feel like they can take him in a 1v1 relatively easily. We've got about twice the gold for zTsoso over Piz at the moment, and zTsoso still going determinedly for another expansion. In comes the Night Mass TP, should go onto it in a moment. Yep, and that cancels that. We'll see Peasants go down. How close are we to level 6 on the Paladin? Paladin is at 100 experience away, and zTsoso going to mass TP to Piz's expansion momentarily, I would guess. We'll see how this new army fares against zTsoso. It's been a complete regroup, adding in the Knights right now, and got a pretty good feeling right now that I think Piz properly countered this and will be able to take him out. No mass TP coming in. Breaker does go down for zTsoso, and if I'm in zTsoso's shoes, I'm a little bit nervous, I think. The mass AoE will fare very well against these Dragonhawk Riders. There is still a good amount of tanks involved in his army, but the Griffins have been doing a great, well, Piz has been doing a great job of keeping the Griffins out of the line of fire for the tanks and keeping them alive. And here we go. zTsoso actually is going for Vova, it looks like. Maybe yes, maybe no. That or he wants to ask him to the school dance. Not sure which it is, but this could work out a couple of different ways. I mean, one is zTsoso could dominate this fight and may actually be able to take out a good amount of Vova's units and then go for the production buildings. However, if zTsoso gets weakened badly in this fight, then that'll be a great opportunity for htrt to try and take him down. We do see that Avatar has gone off for the Mountain King, and the Dreadlord does not have a TP on it. Does get healed up there by the Death Knight. Vova at 72. zTsoso is at 72 as well. Fiends have to be very careful to stay out of the range of Blizzard. Frostworms are both looking very low there. One of them does go down. The other goes down as well. TP out here for Vova. So not a good fight for him, and just manages to keep that Dreadlord alive. It did indeed stay alive. We'll see what Piz decides to do off of this. Unfortunately, because he lacks the Scours, he does lack scouting at the moment. He has a good intuition for what's going on, but that means you don't really know when the fights are actually happening and what the outcomes of them are. So zTsoso is starting to mine off of his main mine that's got about 1,300 left. This is probably a good time to take it, since late game that will just be called into question, pointed out that you have some gold left. But it does look like at the moment htrt is just content to sit back and hoard a little bit of gold. He is at 12,000 now as opposed to 20,000 and 21,000. Slowly but surely getting himself back into the game, especially from early on when he merely had 1,500 gold after fighting off Magadansky. And now just checking around, doing some scouting right now. It does look like zTsoso is completely healing back up, and we'll see what his next move is. I mean, he's going for htrt right now, so he really is asking for getting teamed, and probably the right move still to team zTsoso. But it is interesting that zTsoso is embracing it so well, and we'll see how this works out. We do see that the Archmage is playing at the back here, and it's going to be Piz that is forced to TP away here. Drops down to 68. I thought this fight would go a lot better for him than it did. zTsoso takes out the expansion and takes out a lot of Piz's army. We'll see how he rebuilds. So we see a bunch of mortars coming into play here. Looks like Piz is just trying to counter this army, but he's going to lose this expansion as well. And I don't think there's any point in even trying to stop it, except maybe going for a fake TP. Vova could hit zTsoso right now and would have very good timing. Unfortunately, it looks like he's just teched up to keep so he can get a bunch of towers. Actually, cannon towers to counter the tanks, so interesting move on Vova's part, and a pretty clever one, I think. I'd like to see him get some mortars thrown in as well, as opposed to meat wagons, but that might be asking a little bit too much of the tech. However, zTsoso is putting up another expansion, and yep, so here comes Mass TP. And we shall see how this fight goes. zTsoso did take the last one, but htrt has got the advantage here. One of the sorceresses does go down. 72 food versus 88, so Piz is on his way up to 100. Has broken the 80 food mark, but these casters going down to Blizzard pretty badly. We can see the effect the mortar teams are having, though. Finally, some damage being done to the Spellbreakers, something that was not able to be done earlier. Tank is getting low, does get out of the way there, and a lot of mortars being involved right now, but zTsoso is paying the price for it, down to 59, and look at all of these low Spellbreakers right now. So this is the fight that htrt needed to have, and we can see that it is working out in his favor. But the Blizzard from zTsoso doing a lot of damage. Down to 79 for Piz, actually, what he needs to be at later on. And there is a TP on all of the heroes, so not sure why he's deciding to run away as opposed to try and TP away. Does not seem like that would be in his best interest. Going to lose a couple of siege engines in the process to the mortars, and will not chase the rest of them down. But good fight for htrt, bad fight for zTsoso. And htrt going back up to 100 again, something we have not seen nearly enough of this game. And zTsoso calling dead with 20,000 gold. Pretty impressive. I can't believe he's fucking doing. Oh, okay. And is trying to do mass TP in there, but that's not going to work. We'll take down this town hall, though, and it'll be a question of, does zTsoso think he can fight this out? I hope he doesn't, because he's at 50 right now. And we'll see what HDRT's plan is, and if he's going to try and actually push into zTsoso's base. So far, we really haven't seen very much actual fighting within the bases. We now see breakers are involved for HTRT, and he has completely transformed his army, and this army so far has done a lot better, although he is going to lose a few of these mortar teams if he's not careful. Staffs one of them out, one of them goes down to the Mountain King. We've got 777 there for zTsoso and 776 for HTRT, so hero levels have slowly tilted over into zTsoso's favor, although in direct human mirror like this, you may like the odds for Piz a little bit better with the Panda as opposed to the Mountain King, at least until we get to Hero Arena later on. And Mountain King living on the edge right now, it does appear. So again, we have zTsoso below 50, just hoarding, and there we go, workshops are going up, so we may see some mortars come out here for Vova. And it will be interesting to see what Vova's next move is going to be. And there we go, we do see, as often happens, the double attack will lead to a teaming. Sorceress goes down there, and Vova at 78 against the 100 food army that HTRT has. And zTsoso wants to be allowed to remain anonymous as always. So still no tech to tier 3 though. And no blacksmiths either, so if he does produce tanks, then they will be somewhat weaker tanks. And just picking off a few units here and there is Vova. But I suspect that this could be a very bad idea, especially if he manages to get that Lich surrounded. Yes, those fucking undeads. Oh, zTsoso does have an 80 food army, and he continues to... Nope, he's stopped mining off his main mine, just mining off of one. He is going up to 95 now as well. And I'll be very interested to see if we will see a 132 food army. for those of you not aware how that goes about, it was developed by one of the free-for-all players, Sparkle, and he always went heavy Knights armies, and you can obviously use the Paladin ultimate to revive up to 8 units, and he'd kill off 8 Knights, and then produce 8 more from his barracks, and then go ahead and revive them with the Paladin. That would bring it back up to the 132 food. The only problem with that is there's really no need to have that many Knights. And here we go. So zTsoso will be fighting Vova over here. And this is not a good fight for Vova at the moment. Just by looking, you can already tell that with all these breakers, the Fiends are going to go down very quickly. And everything is slowed. Stomp goes off for the Mountain King, and we're going to see a couple more Fiends die most likely. I'm surprised that we're not seeing a TP out yet for Vova. There is no TP on the Lich or the Dreadlord. It is a single TP on the Death Knight, and this would be a very good opportunity. If this Death Knight goes down, then he is going to be in very big trouble. Paladin Potion of Invulnerability does go off. There is enough for 2 heals on that Death Knight. One of them goes off onto the Lich. The Frostworm going down as we speak. And another Fiend does go down, and Vova going to TP back to his base. This is also the case of the most ridiculous manip I've seen. I think at this point, zTsoso and htrt are just kind of going tongue-in-cheek about it. Or at least I hope they are, because that was pathetic. And so zTsoso has lost all of his remaining expansions, and will mass TP back into his base. Does manage to take everything there. Tank going towards HTRT's base, and we will see mass TP going at HTRT momentarily. I think has to be very, very careful. And there we go. Tank is spotted by HTRT. He needs to go ahead and mass TP now. Oh, there comes zTsoso's mass TP. We'll see if HTRT follows suit or tries to take it down. There we go. So TP is going off, and here we go. Actually loses quite a bit of his army just being left back there, and HTRT could go ahead and just TP back to his remaining tanks and say are going to be chased down momentarily, and this would provide a full fight. There we go. So HTRT now coming in, TPing onto the tank, and this will be pretty much a full 100v100 fight, give or take a few things in change. Lots of Spellbreakers out now for zTsoso. He has added in a few of his own mortars as well, and it'll be hard to tell how this is going to go. Good Spellbreakers on both sides to prevent slow, and this is going to be a massive fight. Will allow Vova the chance to completely rebuild. We do see that zTsoso has yet to lose a unit, while Piz has lost quite a few. He is down to 79 at the moment. zTsoso at 87, so he has started to lose. Mortars now coming in and doing the damage. Splash really hurting zTsoso. We can see that all of these are just so low. Piz does move his mortars just out of the nick of range. Paladin actually coming back for both sides and reviving, so we've got 83 versus 82. It's rare to see Paladin have that much of an impact on the fights. And there we go. So the mortar teams are going down as we speak. The tanks are pretty much useless for Piz at the moment. Needs to send them into the base to do something. On the other hand, the Spellbreakers continue to do a bunch of damage. There's a Potion of Vulnerability on the Paladin as well as Divine Shield. And has to be careful not to lose more of these mortars since they're the only things doing DPS as we speak. Panda goes off with a big Breath of Fire right there. Surround goes off on the Archmage. Archmage does have a Potion of Vulnerability and a TP. We'll see how this works out for him. And Panda could get one more good Breath of Fire off there, but the Archmage is going to go down here to zTsoso. zTsoso hits level 8 on all 3 of his heroes, and there's no TP on either the Paladin or the Pandaren Brewmaster. Brewmaster has already used its ultimate, and this is going to be big. He is going to go ahead and revive it from the tavern. Needs it for the straight TP to go ahead and TP out. How long will the Divine Shield last on the Paladin? Will it be enough time to get away? It does look like it. Whew. So what a fight there by zTsoso. He is down to 51, Piz down to 36, and if Vova is scouting, this is the time for him to hit one of them, because boy, that was a huge fight on both fronts and a very good one. And there we go. zTsoso should bring that Paladin back there to go ahead and use Revive. And here he goes. Vova coming in to clean up. Got a mortar team. We'll see if he can do anything more than that. The Dreadlord is close to getting level 6. And once Inferno comes along, then that is going to be an important factor in this game. So Vova is up to 100, and if he is scouted, he should know that it is time for him to hit. zTsoso still at 48. And while htrt is okay on gold, he is desperately lacking wood right now. Needs to send some out to get them. That was a really painful fight for him to have to deal with. And now has to scout up here, and still no castle. So at this point, zTsoso actually down to 13,000 gold. We've got Vova at 14,000, and Piz is at 6,000, but the wood is a huge differential right now. zTsoso at 2,000, Vova at 3,000, and Piz at 40. Level 8, level 7, level 6 right now for Piz. So despite having the best creeping start and being able to take out Maga early on, zTsoso has managed to come back strong. And I'm surprised that he's spending so much effort focusing down on this Death Knight. I know if it goes down, that's going to be a huge problem. And the Lich, though, has to be careful he doesn't go down. And the Lich does go down there. zTsoso managed to take it down the last moment, had that Scroll of Healing, got cocky, and decided not to use it. Piz going for an expansion as we speak as well. And this would be the time for zTsoso to go ahead and try to end Vova. Although, there we go, does scout and realizes, oh, Vova has 100 food army. Probably not the best time, but... So, despite all the waiting around and pausing in different points of this game, it has started to live up to the billing that it had early on, and it'll be interesting to see how this is dealt with right now. Really no good spots for wood from Piz right now, except for up top, and going to build up the Town Hall, try and get an expansion as well as a massive amount of wood, but that's going to go down very quickly. Was scouted out there by zTsoso. And it does not look like zTsoso is going to be able to take advantage. Advantage of the lack of wood. He did scout out the main, though, and we'll see if he can push here and end that. So zTsoso trying to call a peace and attack Vova, but presumably he's just trying to throw Piz off his trail. Piz knows that he needs to team zTsoso, since zTsoso is absolutely the strongest in this regard right now, and we shall see how this fight goes down. TP was up to protect the expansion earlier, but he's getting the mass TP down right now. And let's see if he can take out the castle. There are really no tanks involved, but there are a good amount of mortars. And here are a few tanks trailing along. Mass TP incoming, and this will be time for Piz to do something, since the entire army has not yet gotten there. And let's see if the Panda can take out a significant amount of the mortar team before it's too late. Nope, goes ahead and uses its ultimate that will prevent the Archmage from using Blizzard on HTRT's mortar teams. But it is a 64 versus 98 fight, and Piz may need a little luck from Vova to keep him in this one right now. Continual surround on the Archmage. Nice moves there by Piz. And we do have that Griffin Riders are getting low here, but so are the mortar teams. Nice save at the last moment there on one of the mortar teams, and we'll see if the Griffin Riders, one does go down there. Second one looking low as well. 79 versus 45 right now, so this is going in zTsoso's favor as we speak, and we'll see. This could be the end of Piz if he can't keep his heroes alive. Good use of the Paladin's ultimate right there. Get a little bit back, but unfortunately not able to save too much. Got to try and focus down some of the heroes here if he wants to have a chance to force them out. And there we go. Perfect timing by Vova. This could be very bad news for zTsoso as well, and could keep Piz in the game. zTsoso trying to finish him off. Hard call to make right here, whether or not you TP and try to save your base, or if you decide to try and finish off Piz. And there we go. zTsoso is going to go ahead and TP back in here. And we'll see how he is able to do. Vova is backing off, which is the exact wrong move right now. You cannot allow zTsoso to rebuild his units after that beautiful, beautiful timing. There we go. So Frostgrim's coming in, freezing up the towers. Has to be careful not to lose anything, but he is playing this very cute right now and trying to kite everything when he has a distinct advantage. This is just such a perfect timing right now for Vova, and we'll see if he can take advantage of it. It is mass tanks coming out. So zTsoso down to 10,000 gold, about to get into the single case. And here we go. Vova is not going to use Inferno yet, but time is approaching when that level 6 Dreadlord should come into play, and he is now leading with it. Uses Swarm right there, but has not yet decided to go for Infernal. Not sure exactly what he is waiting for at the moment. But at the he is also losing the battle to 6 tanks. This is giving a little bit of time for htrt to hoard up, since he is at 50 and will be mining from that mine momentarily, and he is in fact mining. But Vova is at 90, which would indicate he wants to build another 10 of something. I'm not sure what he is going for, though. So here we go. It looks like he's going to go up to a full 100 with gargoyles, and that's going to put zTsoso around 6,000 when he goes up to a full 100 food army. Keep is on its way up, scouting out the main base right now to see what Piz is doing, and it's only going to be, yep, there we go, Piz has been scouted out there as well. And if you're in zTsoso's shoes, I think you got to try and take out htrt, and this is going to be a very anticlimactic ending if Vova drops. Fortunately, he did not. Well, every little bit of gold counts, right? But there goes that breaker, and zTsoso is well on his way to TPing in there, and yep, Piz knows it as well. And that is a big army for Piz to try and fight right now. We'll need to go ahead and use his ultimate. Good Breath of Fire went off on that mortar team right away, though. Cyclone does go off on the Archmage, but zTsoso really just has to focus on using his tanks to take down the keep and the tower right now. That's the main focus for him and the main thing he has to worry about. Unfortunately for htrt, he has to worry about trying to take out the tanks with an army as limited as he has right now. That is pretty much not possible. He can do as much damage as possible to zTsoso, and there is a town hall down there. That is the last remaining town hall that Piz has in his possession at the moment, down to 38 food. zTsoso is at 48. Paladin should be able to revive most of this over here when everything clears away, and could lose at least one of these siege engines in the process. We shall see. There we go. So back up to 48 right now, and another good timing strike by zTsoso. That is a very good death and decay, keeping Piz in it for at least another moment. And here come the staffed units. We'll see if we can take advantage of that. And there has to be a TP, you would think. I'm not sure if zTsoso realizes that, yeah, okay, he does now, and he's TPing in, but we are going to see, are all the towers going to go down? Yes, they are. A TP into the back of the base was not a good idea, and the castle goes down there, and zTsoso calling out dead. Vova has managed to save it, and down goes that Mountain King. zTsoso now is in very, very desperate situation, and in comes that Inferno. I've been waiting to see that all game. We're going to see one of those siege engines go down, and this is the time to team on Vova. I suspect zTsoso and Piz will piece up, and I'm not sure if Vova can handle a 2v1 with all these AoE heroes. In comes Piz, and he will try to help take down... Oh, no, he is going for zTsoso. This is bizarre. He is trying to clean up. I'm not sure if this is a suicide or if he believes he can take Vova easier, but really, really bizarre turn of events that it is Piz helping out Vova to kill zTsoso. This is the time to 2v1 against Vova, although zTsoso does have 8,000 gold left, so he is far from being completely dead, but does need time to rebuild. We see the keep is teching up there. No keep tech for htrt at the moment. And that Altar of Kings is going to be the deal breaker right now. If that Mountain King gets back out, that could be trouble for the other players, but if the Altar of Kings can be taken down, which it looks like it will be by the Archmage, then that will be good news for everybody who does not like getting stunned into oblivion by it. And zTsoso a little bitter that he's being teamed out by htrt, but that's all you gotta do. And well, looks like it's not gonna be a complete suicide. It'll be interesting to see. zTsoso is not really said anything, and htrt not attacking him yet, but there we go. So first strike does go to Vova, and that will be what provokes it. The Dreadlord getting very low right now. One heal left on that Death Knight. Still only a TP on the Death Knight, so the Dreadlord could go down very quickly to a nuke from both Paladins, but the TP does come out now. And here we go. They are going to follow and try to take out Vova's base, but Vova does have these cannon towers, which will make it hard for the tanks. Although I guess there are only a few tanks left as we speak. Looking at the base, there are 3 Griffin Aviaries and 3 workshops. There are a bunch of mortars and some casters left as well. Only things being taken are breakers, knights, and heroes for Piz, and Piz is on his way to tier 2 now. zTsoso has almost completed his tech to keep. So it'll be interesting to see if zTsoso is going to try and play dead, or if he's going to try and use his gold. A little bit of free experience coming in here for Piz, taking down these ghouls. Which actually may have helped them out more, because Vova has plenty of wood and now is able to get an even larger army. And here we go. So we'll see how effective these towers are against the combined nuking power of 2 Archmages and a Panda. And there we go. Second, forced a TP out there by zTsoso, so a very quick nuke by Vova, and Piz is going to have to go ahead and back up. He's got to be careful that he doesn't get his heroes taken down either. Sleep goes off on the Archmage, and they need it to be a TP right away right now. So, yep, the Archmage will... should TP. It's not yet. Not entirely sure why. Trying to do some damage to these gargoyles, but... there we go. TP does go off now, and not really able to take out much of anything. One of the breakers does go down for Vova. Picked up an extra level on the Death Knight. And there we go. So both players agreeing not to try and play broke, and they are going to create an army to try and 2v1 against Vova. Pretty much the only thing you can do in this position right now. The towers are very low there, and they were a good line of defense. So, gotta be careful that they don't go down right away. Mountain King is on its way back out finally. And zTsoso down to 4,000 gold and capped at 54 right now. Piz, despite saying everything, has not yet started building anything himself, although he is rebuilding his altar in case he should lose something earlier on. And there we go, mortars coming out, one of them invisible. We'll see if we're going to get a mass TP into Vova's base. He does have a shade there, though, so that mortar would go down relatively quickly, I think. And there, both players going to the middle. Vova still at 10,000 gold, full 100 food army, in very good position right now. And they'll need every bit of the coordinated teaming they can get in order to take it down. And here we go, Vova, the Infernal, has finally scouted out where the castle is. We'll be able to take down the cannon tower, probably at least. And surprised it's not going to harass some of the peasants instead. And there we go, a couple of gyros are on their way out for htrt at the moment. Do have to be careful not to give any friendly fire to each other. MK is about 25-30 seconds away from being done, and this is the trouble with coordinated teaming, is that it gives Vova a very early explanation as for when he's coming. Bunch of Dragonhawk Riders have come out here for zTsoso. And no arcane tower, so the Panda going to be able to do pretty much all the damage that it could do. AMS shield is up and not fading away anytime soon on the Gargoyle, so Vova is well prepared for this. And there we go, one of the cannon towers will go down. No, they're going to leave that one alive for some reason. And there we go, so the second cannon tower goes down. Breath of Fire does go off there. Let's see if they can take down one of the Frostworms. It is getting low right now. Panda does go ahead and use its ultimate. Pretty much all the gyros go down right away. Completely wasted there. And Panda is getting low as well. In comes the Infernal drop. And both of our human players are very low and probably need to think about getting out before too long. That is one of the Panda elements has gone down. And Mountain King has come in and joined up into the attack. We do see that the Frostworm there is getting low, and it will go down. On the other side of the map, the Infernal has gone down very quickly to htrt, and Vova actually not faring nearly as well in this fight as he should have. He's down to 79, but we can see all these gargoyles are very low, and the TP will come out now. Lich does get away just in time. Both players have to be careful not to accidentally take each other out. No heroes lost, though, which is the important part. And zTsoso is building a farm to prevent mass TP. Or to use mass TP, sorry. Somewhat surprising that he, Piz has not killed that off. I'm not sure if zTsoso is planning for the future, doesn't realize it's there, or what the overall game plan is, but these two cannon towers are getting very low and almost out. There we go, Blizzard will bring them down this go about, and Vova up to 87 right now. Piz at 46, zTsoso at 45, 3,000, 4,000, and 8,700. Taking down these crypts would be a big win for the human players, since that would prevent the production of more gargoyles. And the, just barely gets Divine Shield off on that Paladin in time. One more big nuke from the AoE will bring down, let's see, Archmage. Water Elemental should be able to focus it down. Hey, there we go. Does go down at the very end there. Staff out there. Has to be careful not to lose his Paladin, since it is pretty low right now. And has to be careful not to lose the tank. Tank does go down. And TP now. TP, there we go. Just gets it out in the nick of time. So the Archmage is going to survive. And will bring down... That is very trusting by Piz to allow the farm and the peasant to stay alive there. zTsoso is down on wood, and now getting wood from the opposite side of the map, and will bring down the farm this time. Maybe, maybe not, who knows. But 2,600 for zTsoso, 4,400 for Piz, and 8,000 for Vova. He has 2 remaining crypts as well as 2 sanctuaries. Sorry, not sanctuaries. 2 workshops, and let's see, we have got 2 boneyards as well. So all the towers here really causing a pretty big disparity in how much Vova can pump, and that may be the way for them to win out on this one, is sheerly through being able to bring down production buildings. And we can see we've got a few hidden, mortars over in the corner. It'll be interesting to see if that's going to be a late game plan for htrt, is to go ahead and have a hidden army, and if mortars are his hidden army idea. And here we go. Vova has decided to take a proactive step, and that Archmage getting very low will be staffed out. Is there another TP, though? Mountain King does have a TP as well as the Blink Dagger, and we'll see if some of these Gargoyles and Frostworms will go down to the Panda, and Archmages focusing it down. Mountain King does stun one of them, so that's 1 Gargoyle down at least. Just a few more to go, and Knight does go down there. We'll be able to revive it later with the Paladin, though. That is the benefit of going for a ground army. Not that there are a ton of them, but at least one of them. And Vova at 85, not continuing to pump right now. Not sure if he's going to try and play dead soon, or if he's just a little bit behind, but interesting choice there, and does go ahead, use Death Pack on the Death Knight. Avatar goes off for the Mountain King, and in comes the Infernal Drop, but with the Paladin healing it up, it seems unlikely they are going to manage to take down the Mountain King. And they are chasing right now. I'm somewhat surprised they're not going for the base, trying to take out the production buildings, but looks like that is not in the game cards right now. One of the Frostworms getting very low and does go down there, so a big hit, and we'll see if they manage to take down another one. There is another very low Frostworm right there, and Divine Shield goes off for the Paladin. You would think another nuke coming in, but it does get healed up at the nick of time, and the Paladin has 280 mana, so it does have plenty there. And let's see if Mountain King picks off one of these. Yep, so it does grab one of the Gargoyles there at the last moment, and zTsoso now coming in with the tanks, really showing his hand as opposed to Piz, who kind of looks like he is trying to avoid doing that. And the Frostworm almost goes down there, but does not quite. And a couple of casters coming out here for Piz. They're going to go ahead, heal up, and then head over to Vova. So we can see here, Vova is still in the best shape right now, but he has not started rebuilding crypts or anything like that, which could be an important factor later on. He's also not gotten any hidden buildings. He does have this 1 Necropolis, but everybody knows where that is. Piz has started hiding units in all of the corners just to be late game ready. 3,400 and 700 for him. zTsoso has 1,700 and 170, but he does have 1,300 left in his base, actually, which has not been called out yet. Once he drops below 50, he should be able to mine that out. And the Infernal will do some damage to the Town Hall, but should not be able to bring it down. So no more cannon towers except for the one that's kind of in the middle of the base, and we'll see if the Archmages and Pandas are able to do as much damage here as they were earlier. And there we go. So Archmage gets healed up, and one of the crypts is very close to dying. Gargoyle goes down there for Vova. In comes the Water Elemental. If nothing else, they are able to do some distraction damage. Tanks finally coming in here and doing a bunch of damage, and if they can get under the Gargoyles, that will be worth a lot. Vova going for Banshees. We'll see if he's going to use them just for AMS or if he's going to try and possess. We do see that looks like one of them tried to go for possession, not able to. Nice job going invisible on that Archmage, although I do believe that there is a shade in the area. One of the Pandarian Elementals is low, and big Cyclone on the Death Knight, and if they can time this right with the Mountain King next to get closer, and no nuke. Oof, they could have brought that down with 2. Oof, and it does go down now, and I believe that kill actually went to htrt, but that's going to be a big problem for Vova, and if they're not If Vova's not careful right now, he could be taken out completely. Needs to get a gargoyle over there to the tavern and revive that Death Knight, I think. But, yeah, so all of the crypts are now done. We do have a couple of boneyards left. Altar is reviving the Death Knight, but if you're in this position, you know how incredibly long it takes for that to go through. Big breath of fire there by the Panda. Down goes one of the slaughterhouses. Out goes that Banshee as well. Nice job using that Inferno right in the middle of all the tanks, although it should probably stick on there. Try to kill them off because we're going to see that Necropolis go down momentarily. Needs to staff that Siege Engine, but it does go down instead. 2 Frostworms here that are looking like they could go down very quickly. And how much mana is on that Panda? Enough for 1 Haze and 1 Breath of Fire. And Vova losing that Infernal as well. So thorough and repetitive teaming here is allowing both of our human players to get back into the game. Despite having 5,000 gold, Vova has not started reproducing any of his units. Needs to start pumping something. There we go. We do have Boneyards producing some Frostworms and getting low on that Archmage, but so is the Frostworm. Obviously no Death Knight out to heal them right now, and the tank's doing so much damage right under those. Surprised that he is not going to try and do more damage to them. It looks like htrt trying to take out the Black Citadel as we speak. Good move on his part, and there we go. We're going to see a couple of the gargoyles go down. Big Breath of Fire by that Panda. Overlaps on the tanks as well. That's going to actually help out both htrt and Vova. It will help Vova kill off the tanks, however, it will help htrt have less tanks to fight later on. He is playing a masterful game right now. I'm not sure if zTsoso realizes what type of position this is going to put him in later on, although he will have the Mountain King, and it'll be interesting to see how repetitive this teaming will be, and if they are going to try and completely finish off Vova. Looks like that one of these Frostworms will go down, although the Mountain King just came back out, so it should be able to heal up that Frostworm. And they're going to go ahead and go back to the mid, try and heal up. And so zTsoso still has that farm in the base ready to attack htrt at a moment's notice. He does have a castle in his base, 2 tanks, and then he's got, let's see, 2 workshops and 3 Griffin Aviaries, 1 Arcane Sanctum, and a keep to start Town Hall to start mining the rest of that gold mine. He is at 45, so it's the best time to do it. That will put him at 2,500 or so when he is done. Piz at 2,700 and 600. Does have 3 Griffin Aviaries and 3 workshops to produce units, and has started hiding them around the map as we speak. Continues to do some long distance mining with his peasants as well. And accidentally doing some damage here. But after an early game where it was teaming htrt for the entire time, followed by a rousing game of Team zTsoso, which looked like might turn into a suicide later on, it quickly turned into Team Vova, because Vova had 20,000 gold. And now the question is, does the teaming last, or at which point does one stab the other? And as Alien is saying, I think it's a question of one of them stabbing the other. And my prediction is it will be zTsoso that ends up stabbing Piz, since zTsoso put that farm right there. And there we go. So the work on the Necropolis has begun. And tanks and Mountain King both getting low. Mountain King does go ahead and use Avatar. Look at the damage that the Frostworms are taking at the moment, though. Haze and Breath of Fire, plus the Blizzard is just doing so much damage. Cannon Tower is going to go down momentarily, I think. We do have the Boneyard reproducing a Frostworm as we speak. In comes the Infernal. Still have not seen the ultimate go off this roundabout for the Pandarian Brewmaster, and big stun goes off on the Frostworm, and that will go down there to the Paladin. Not able to save it. Death Knight 7, Lich 7, and Dreadlord 7. He has got to stay as far back as possible, and he is almost completely dead. We are getting close to that point where this is going to be a finish to remember, I think. And we've got to be very, very careful with this Paladin, and does get a coil off to heal it, but we do see that another Frostworm is going to go down there, and Vova just losing all of his gold pretty much. Huge amounts of AoE damage being done to all of these. Vova trying his best to nuke some of these heroes down, but just not having any success. Archmage does have a potion of lesser invulnerability as well, and Vova now out of his fight, base fighting as well, which good on one hand, bad on another. Needs to go ahead and use that potion of lesser invulnerability soon, and got to be careful that the Lich is not going to die. Does get that coil off just in the nick of time. But the Death Knight has a mere 45 mana right now. This is the time to start nuking the heroes. I suspect both of our players know that. Heal goes off on the Mountain King, who does not have enough mana to go for a big hit. And the Dreadlord does... Ooh, nope. TP out there. Dreadlord getting very, very low. We'll see which Paladin will get it in time. And did he buy a potion here anywhere? There we go, potion mana. We'll be able to heal off the Dreadlord. That's really the only thing that he could do there, and desperately needed to do it as well. Frostworm getting low, probably going to go down to a combined nuke from the Paladin soon, and the Paladin staffed out just in the nick of time, but that's going to be a big changing moment probably, since that means that now zTsoso can be nuked down a lot easier. Death Pack goes off for the Death Knight, getting that back up to full health, and has a potion of mana for when it's needed as well. And Piz answering the question of who wins, and it's Team Human at the moment, apparently.
A player's forces are under attack.
And a sneaky expansion coming up by zTsoso here. Just looking around, we have not yet had many buildings being rebuilt, but we do see that Piz is hiding units just all over the map, getting ready for the late game. Going to continue to mine out this expansion, and zTsoso's got to be careful. This town hall could make him get teamed out very, very quickly, probably. I think that Vova will switch to whoever offers him peace first. The Archmage getting a little fresh there, doing an attack on zTsoso. So hero levels are almost 10 on that Archmage, 9 on the Panda, 8 on the Paladin. We've got almost 9, or almost 10, almost 10, and where is that? There's that Paladin. Almost 10 as well. So zTsoso may hit triple 10 heroes, and not out of the realm of possibility for htrt either. Again, coming in here and going with a AoE attack, and that's pretty much all they want to do right now. They might be able to completely take Vova out of the game. He is almost food blocked, pretty much no gold. And as was mentioned, Piz doing the smart thing here, bringing only units that can be brought back by the Paladin and then staffed out. And is this... Nope. I'm just waiting for the point where one turns on the other, so... I think they'll probably take down a few of these buildings over here first, and then it's going to be an interesting question to see who breaks on who first. And there we go. So it does kind of separate them, and Vova doing the best he can to nuke them down as much as he can, but not being very effective right now. We're going to see the cannon tower go down there. Surround does go off on the Infernal, and Spellbreaker has to be a little careful. Oh, nope, not a surround. Just looked like it was. So Vova is completely food blocked as we speak. And even worse so right now, he may actually get building killed right now. It's a question of, do both players feel confident they can take the other one? zTsoso is at 36 at the moment. We're at 54 htrt. And it's always hard to tell who he is attacking when he uses that big breath of fire. And there we go, Vova calls GG. It goes down to zTsoso's heroes right there, and we'll see if he actually leaves or tries to rebuild. It does look like both players are committed to completely finishing him off, so unfortunate for Vova that he is going to get teamed out, but he did have an opportunity to take it out earlier on, and zTsoso not mining currently, but htrt does have his knight there. Yeah, I'm a little curious as to why zTsoso is not mining from that. At this point, it really looks like htrt is kind of taking control of this game, although we did see zTsoso win a bunch of fights with him earlier, but there we go. So it does look like Vova is going ahead and hiding his units. Does have an outlet out, though, so he could rebuild a little bit, but not enough gold now to fully rebuild, at least. And we'll see. I think htrt is thinking about it, and there we go. TP does go out, and he is going to the Knight, so that means it's going to be mass TP in here by Piz, and let's see how this fight fares out. Heal goes off on the Knight. Spellbreakers are... Oof, this fight's going to go in zTsoso's favor, I think. This is not a good fight for htrt to be taking right now. He does not have his army advantage, and the Mountain King is a better hero arena hero than the Paladin is. Mana is very high for all of the heroes right now, except for the Mountain King, which only has 87. We'll see if he can be brought down, though. Paladin has plenty for healing up. Pretty much everything that's dying right now is going to be brought back by the Paladins using their ultimate at any moment. And a couple of tanks going down for zTsoso right now. Vova taking them out, and that could play a huge factor later on. zTsoso up to 48 food. He is pretty much completely maxed out. He's now at 57, and does manage to revive it, so... Expansion going down for zTsoso. I thought this would go better for... excuse me, I thought it would go better for zTsoso than it did, but looks like htrt was able to counter that. Knight goes down. Castle's still alive, and this is the time for htrt to start using the remainder of his hidden army. So 59 food, and we've got 50 food for htrt. Griffin's coming in, and Vova going to go ahead and try to get that Death Knight back, it looks like, but he does have enough now, so with the Necropolises and a couple of Ziggurats, if he can get his 3 heroes back just for nuking, then that would certainly make the game even more interesting. And here we go, zTsoso will lose the Town Hall, and htrt has... What on earth? Oh, he's got them queued up. That's why he's got so little gold. I was wondering how he managed to lose all that already. And just making sure he does a thorough job taking out all the buildings that he can. And big heal coming off on that Griffin Rider at this point in the game. Can't afford to lose anything. Huge blizzard, actually, right in the middle of all that, combined with the Mountain King. Good staff and good save. The Priest getting low. Will it go down? Yes, it does go down to the Paladin right there. But with all the Griffin Riders coming in, and zTsoso goes for Griffin Riders as well. Pretty much a mirror matchup right now. The only difference being the Pandarian Brewmaster and the Mountain King. Possibly a little bit better micro on htRT's part. We'll see how it fares out. The Archmage for zTsoso is getting low, although the hero levels are in the favor of zTsoso as we speak. Water Elementals coming back to actually play a role in the game. And we shall see. One of the Griffin Riders goes down there, and those going down is obviously incredibly important because those cannot be brought back by the Paladin to resurrect, and that's just wasted gold. We'll see if any of them go down for zTsoso. Just a bunch of them for htRT, but no way to stun them when zTsoso's playing. So zTsoso can kite if he needs to. Mount King has 65, but quickly regaining more, and the staff goes very far away. TP out here, and mass TP back in when he can, I'm sure. Knight going to the back of the base, and zTsoso doing a nice job of controlling this right now. Has to be able to make sure that he can thoroughly wipe out htRT. At this point, that's not a given, but htRT losing another Griffin Rider here to zTsoso, and TP coming in right now. We'll see if zTsoso manages to keep his perfect record of not losing any of these Griffins alive. Haze and Fire coming off here, and has to be on top of it with his staffs to make sure that these survive. Surprised that there's not more focus, to be honest, and that we haven't seen a Blizzard go off for htRT, but there we go. Cyclone on the Archmage. One of the Griffin Riders was staffed already, and oof, this is really bad timing for that lag, Vova. And there we go, level 10 for the Archmage for what it's worth. That will give level 3 Water Elementals to both of the players. And in comes Vova. How is he going to go ahead and handle this? And he is going to attack htrt, it looks like. So 2v1 against htrt. It has quickly switched back into the other favor. And let's see if htrt can survive this. Looking back over here, the mortars are taking down Soso's base as we speak. And there we go. So TP out. It's going to be a base race scenario. Although base races do get incrementally harder when you have Archmage being able to TP, and he left behind his Panda, so Panda is on its own over here. It does have an invulnerability potion, but htrt does not realize that. And he needs to go ahead and use the potion, get himself out of there. We'll see if he can do some damage to it before he goes. Advantage going to htrt with the mortars right now, though, and he has more hidden buildings around the map. You can see he is already prepared for this. And Panda does go down there. And now it's going to be Vova stabbing zTsoso as well. And let's see. Oof, perfect sleep on the Archmage to prevent that mass TP. And htrt is going to back off there, actually, it looks like. Interesting that zTsoso is going to lose a few of the Spellbreakers here, and Vova will be able to take down a little extra experience, and we'll see if he's going to go for the base as well. He does have one Alkali up on this mine, but he does have a Necropolis over here as well. htrt actually giving a true count of his gold there, and zTsoso has 60 gold and 112, 52 food left. Couple of single tank, it looks like, and 5 Griffin Riders, as well as his Spellbreakers and Heroes. And this really is going to come down to the wire, it seems like. All the heroes are back up, Frostworm and 2 Destroyers. And we can see that the building race has pretty much begun with them planted around the map. The fact that zTsoso has so many towers is going to work against him, it seems. So Panda is on its way back out now for zTsoso. He has had to sell off a few of his items in order to keep it up. And looks like they're going to go ahead and hold off until the Panda comes back out. And there we go. So Spellbreaker is coming in here, going for a mass TP onto the Spellbreaker, most likely finish off the remainder of this base. Although that is not the important part for Vova right now, since he is mining the remaining 1,000 off of that. And it looks like he will just hit up. Interesting that he decided to go for 5 Alkalites there. Could have gone for 3, taken longer to take it down, but would have wasted less gold, saved an extra 150. I guess it's a question of how long he thinks it's going to survive. And there we go. Vova and Piz are getting ready to go ahead and team zTsoso out of the game now, it looks like. We've seen it before. We've seen it again. Let's see how it'll work. And big TP coming into Vova right now. Desperately needs to keep that alive, since that is all the remaining food cap that he has. And then it's only 1 building after this to be killed off. Going to need to pull one of the Alkalites off and hope that he has enough to rebuild a Necropolis. So hard for Vova to hide on this map, since the Undeads are unable to build very many places, and it shows up instantaneously when they do. Continue to have a few hidden mortars around the map for htrt, and let's see if zTsoso is going to try and take a fight and TP in here, or try to finish off Vova. I don't believe he knows exactly how many buildings are left, and so far it looks like, yep, there we go. So if he kills off the Alkalite here, there we go, Necropolis does go up over there, but that Alkalite is down, and zTsoso can't possibly be just walking by it, can he? Yep, he's actually going to try and kill off htrt and check the other expansions that have oh, there we go. Mountain King will notice it. And zTsoso's base taking a while to finish off, since it is human. And working on killing off the remainder of these Alkalites. There we go. So zTsoso will be able to take that down. We have a single remaining Alkalite, which will not have... There we go. We'll have enough now to build another Necropolis. However, this one's going to be scouted out instantaneously. And, yep. That is what he is trying to do at the moment. Mass TP comes in, and this Necropolis goes down. Will the Vova be able to get this out or not? He needs to actually go sell some items. And just a question of how quickly can zTsoso scout this remaining one. Nice manip by Vova saying he has 5 remaining. zTsoso does have a Spellbreaker in here ready to TP into HDRT's main base the moment he can see it. And here we go. So this is going to be Vova knocked out of the game. zTsoso has to see this, right? What on earth? Okay, there we go. zTsoso does now see it. So that's GG for Vova. Oh, nope, he's... Okay, he had already started it, and there we go. Wow, he cut that one close. You don't get a whole lot of closer to you dying than that. In the meantime, we do have HTRT moving on to the main part of zTsoso's base. zTsoso at some point is going to have to consider fighting this. Does look like he is splitting off Griffin Riders to try and scout out the remainder of it, but this is a good time for zTsoso to actually take the fight since he can take HTRT 1v1. There we go. zTsoso does have... Oof, we'll lose a Griffin Rider here. Costly mistake for the scouting since really don't want to have that happen, but there we go. TP's in, and we shall see how he is able to deal with Piz. Piz does have a minor advantage right now, and impressive balls that he continues to go ahead and take it. And there we go. So that is a piece called, and if HTRT is smart, he's going to go ahead and finish off the remainder of Vova with the Necropolis right there. But it looks like that is not to be for today. zTsoso has a couple of remaining buildings left at his old main, and no mass TP. Regular TP coming up, probably. Oh, shit. Does he not have a hall? No, he does. He has a castle. I don't know why he didn't TP there. That's bizarre. Well, that was remarkably short-sighted by Piz. And here we go, Vova coming in, seeing if he can clean up. Only has 1 building remaining, though. And it looks like zTsoso may yet pull this off. But it will be a 2v1 against zTsoso in his base, and one of those cannon towers does go down. There's not a whole lot remaining for zTsoso at the moment. He does have a Spellbreaker across the map right now, but he does not have any peasants out and about, and I don't believe he actually has any peasants because HTRT killed them earlier. So if he loses his buildings, that is good game, and if he loses one of his heroes, then that could be good game as well. There is a TP on the Death Knight, no TP on the Lich, but plenty of mana to heal on the Death Knight right now because he does have that potion of mana. And Paladin has enough for Divine Shield as well as a bunch. And there we go. Divine Shield goes off on Piz's Paladin. And Tank does go out. Tank has discovered Vova's base. And now zTsoso needs to go ahead. Mass TP over to that. And regular TP first. We'll see if Vova is able to take it down since it's going to be very low. Got to get a heal off on... Eek! Eek, 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 and down goes the Archmage. Beautiful sleep on the Paladin. So that's both Archmages are out of the game, and it is Vova left with just 3 heroes, but Vova's base is going to be destroyed by HTRT momentarily. On the other hand, he has just started another Necropolis as well. HTRT does have mortars for scouting, though. So this is just a bizarre turn of events, and keeping the game close. Enough items to sell, though, for zTsoso. He will be able to go ahead and get that Archmage back, and Archmage is almost done for HTRT right now. So there we go. Items are in the process of selling off, and zTsoso is in the process of... Is he going to tavern it, maybe? Nope, he is starting now. Sold off a lot of items, actually, including the Blink Dagger and the Orb of Frost, which is interesting. I would think that those two would be pretty important to keep around. So htrt now possibly back in the top spot as well, except he can't fight the hero arena very well. But he is going to go and hide the Archmage, actually, and continue to fight with just the Paladin and the Panda. Nope, he's hid the Panda as well, so he's just going to fight with the Paladin and a couple of Griffins, trying to take out the Altar. Altar has gone down already, and not enough wood, I don't believe, actually, to try and tavern it. No escape there, and zTsoso looks like he is going to lose to building kill. Infernal does go down, and here we go. So zTsoso is going to go ahead and lose the rest of his base over here for htrt. And there we go. So Vova actually going to back off here. And let's see. Heals up that Acolyte. And was that the only thing he was going for? Does look like it was. Takes a while for htrt to kill any of these buildings when he's just using a Paladin and a couple of Griffins. And there we go. Vova going to finish off the last of these buildings. Death and Decay should be coming up momentarily. And there's nothing heading for zTsoso. He desperately needs to find where the remaining buildings are, but it looks like he is not going to be able to in time. And it looks like we are going to have a stab coming in here. And here we go. So Vova now going to be teamed out. There is a TP on the Death Knight, no TP on the Dreadlord or the Lich. And let's see if they can take out the Lich as the most likely target, I would think. But Mountain King, no Blink Dagger, not able to stun anymore, and does get pathed off there by the boots. And I'm incredibly surprised that they have not started teaming Piz yet. He is really selling the fact that he is broken, has no units well. And Paladin is going to go... Sorry, Lich is going to go down to the Paladin. zTsoso has been revealed, and htrt just trying to figure out where the last of the units are. And there we go. It's going to be teaming onto Piz right now, and he does have a lot of buildings. We'll see if they go for building killing or unit and hero killing. Spellbreaker is going to scout out one of these buildings momentarily, and the other necropolis should be found very soon. Surprised that the Archmage and the Mortars have not yet started getting together for mass TP. The one dangerous part of this plan does seem to be if the Panda, Archmage, something like that, Mortars get scouted out by themselves, they could go down very, very easily. And GG called by Vova. But it's a fake GG since he has one more necropolis as we speak. There we go. So that's one necropolis down. zTsoso going for his own building kills as well, and oof, gonna lose that mortar team. So let's see, Castle, Altar of Kings, we've got a Blacksmith, Arcane Vault over there, Farm. So htrt has done a very nice job of splitting his units across the map. And Piz going ahead and calling a peace, trying to manipulate Vova to help him out just one last time. And we'll see if it works, but does know that zTsoso is the biggest threat right now, so he's going to go ahead and take him out. It'll be a question of, is there going... No, Forgot he lost the Archmage, so there's not going to be a mass TP. This is going to be the end of zTsoso. It's just a question of how long will it take to get there. And there we go. We do see that the Archmage has TP'd over to the Panda. So there we go, we've got 3 buildings left for zTsoso, and zTsoso just desperately hoping they can go for a building kill. Vova actually coming in here may be able to nuke down. Let's see if he is going for htrt or if he is going for zTsoso. It does look like he's going for htrt, and can probably take out some of these Griffin Riders as well. The Paladin able to keep it alive for a while, and then here comes the mass TP, so that's going to be the end of zTsoso. And then it will just be the 1v1 for Vova and htrt, and you got to think that htrt feeling pretty good about the position he's in, as long as he doesn't carelessly lose the Archmage or something along those lines. Although he has lost it carelessly before, so he does need to be careful about that, and heal does go off on the Archmage to prevent it from dying, and there we go. zTsoso is defeated and out of the game. And 1 building left for Vova. So this will be GG with htrt taking the game home, it looks like. Just a matter of formalities right now. Infernal does go down, and don't know if htrt knows where that last building is. An interesting decision here by htrt. It looks like he is going to try and finish off a few of the heroes as opposed to going for just killing the buildings. In comes a Griffin Rider and plenty of mana on the Paladin currently to continue healing up the Archmage. Does have to be careful he doesn't lose the Death Knight, which has 40 left on it, and going to have to TP back over there, and never mind, Death Knight does go down, followed by the Dreadlord, and that will be GG. So there we go. Quite the comeback. Thank you to our players for not just camping the entire game, although you did enough of that in the middle. But well played by htrt and well played by zTsoso. He had the game. If he had played it a little safer and decided to be even more boring about it, he probably could have taken home the victory by just brutally teaming htrt early on. But props to him for not doing that. And we can see he actually got the top score. And let's look at the resource score. Yeah, htrt almost 15,000 less than zTsoso in terms of gold. He did lose the most gold to upkeep. Heroes killed. zTsoso managed to get the most hero kills, trip 10s across the board, and then htrt had 10, 10, 9, and obviously a lot of units killed all around for everybody, and a lot of buildings raised as well. That is what happens when you play on Market Square with a bunch of human players. But thank you all so much for watching. Make sure to follow us on Twitch. You can subscribe to us on YouTube, and we'll catch you all soon. Later.